If you are someone who has been looking to buy a house in the last 2 years but still hasn't bought one in hopes for the housing market to crash and sell off, things may appear very confusing to you as the interest rates on a 30-year fixed mortgage surpass 6% and the housing market is still not selling off. The common assumption 2 years ago or even a year ago was that the housing market would enter into a tailspin and that those who waited to buy would be able to scoop up properties at deeply discounted prices. As we all know now, that doesn't seem to be the case today, and the housing crash that was supposed to be worse than 2008 that many anticipated hasn't happened. Some might argue that it hasn't happened yet. It's worth noting that the market dynamics have been shifting without a doubt, but not as nearly dramatically as the market crash wizards were predicting. When COVID-19 struck and the national lockdown was imposed in March of 2020, those with a crystal ball were predicting a massive drop in demand that would cause the real estate market to burn to the ground and make the 2008 crash look like a walk in the park. That of course didn't happen, and if the real estate market did one thing, it was the exact opposite thanks to government stimulus and record low rates. Later they said once the forbearance programs expire, foreclosures will reach levels likes of which have never been seen before. That also didn't happen. Today they are saying that the real estate crash is definitely coming. The crash of a lifetime is on its way. You just gotta wait and see. As Alexander Hammond once wrote, if you wait long enough, something will happen. There has never been a time when nothing happened. Nevertheless, the question still begs, what should you do now if you have been waiting on the sidelines for the past 2 years? Or perhaps you're someone who recently started exploring the option of purchasing your own home, but volatile interest rates got you feeling uncertain. There's no one-size-fits-all answer to this question. In today's video, we will review today's housing market conditions, which hopefully will help you to determine if it makes sense for you to purchase a home or continue waiting. Welcome back, guys. My name is Vitaly with another video today. As always, thank you for spending your time with me, and if you find this content interesting, please make sure to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's dive into today's topic. I previously talked about how trying to predict the real estate market or stock market is a fool's errand. We can only speculate or try to project best and worst case scenarios by analyzing data, but at the end of the day, no one knows for sure what will happen. Predicting markets well is hard and nearly impossible. However, navigating markets is something that we can all do. And while I'm not here to give you an investment advice, what I want to do today is to help you understand the current market conditions and where things might be heading, so that way you can make the best decision for your personal circumstances. Let's start with the interest rates, which have been the talk of the town for quite a while now. As many of you remember, earlier this year in January, rates on the 30-year fixed mortgage were around 3%. Fast forward 4 months, in May, rates climbed to 5.6%, an astonishing increase that crippled buyers' purchasing power. As of today, the average mortgage rate has surged past 6%. That means a person buying a $400,000 home would have a monthly payment about $700 higher now than it would have been in January. As you would expect, such a sudden upswing in rates would cause some buyers to reconsider buying a house, while some will no longer be able to afford one. Needless to say that higher rates is not the best news for home buyers. However, many, particularly those who work in the real estate industry, welcome the increased rate as good news, and here is why. The real estate market has been brutally competitive for home buyers in the last 2 years, and higher rates in theory create a better balance between sellers and buyers. A balanced market is always the best market. Now that rates have been steadily hovering around 6%, the question is, are we finally about to see the seller's market fade into the sunset as buyers take the driver's seat? While the real estate market has been responding to increasing rates, some argue that it hasn't been enough and there's still a long road ahead. According to the S&P Case-Shiller National Home Price Index, home prices are still 43% higher than before the COVID-19 pandemic. In July of this year, the median existing home sale price was $403,800, up 10.8% from July 2021, $364,600. While the number of homes for sale has grown, up 27% at the start of September compared with the same time a year ago, active inventory is still 43% lower than what it was in 2019. Today, unsold inventory sits at 3.3 months supply. That's a lot better than 1.6 months supply we had in January of this year, thanks to higher interest rates, of course. However, it's traditionally believed that to have a buyer's market, we would need 6 months of inventory, and as of today, we still got ways to go to reach that mark. You might ask, well, why inventory hasn't been increasing as rapidly as those with a crystal ball were predicting? After all, wasn't there supposed to be a mass influx of homes for sale and a big sell-off? It turns out sellers dislike high mortgage rates as much as buyers, not only because higher mortgage rates make their homes less affordable to buyers, but also because it makes more expensive for them to buy a new home once they sell. Homeowners who purchased a house 2 years ago for a lot cheaper under a record low interest rate don't have the incentive to sell today and buy a more expensive home under a higher rate. That causes inventory growth to stall as new listings decrease and pushes buyers back to square one where options are limited and competition is intense. An article titled "Americans are deeply pessimistic about the housing market" Connie Kim from Housing Wire highlights that 35% said that it was bad time to sell, rising from 27% in July, and about 59% said it was a good time to sell, dropping from a previously month 67%. While buyers' sentiment has been getting a little better, still 73% said it was a bad time to buy. It currently takes 35.5% of median income to make the monthly principal and interest payment on the median home with 30-year mortgage and 20% down. However, despite high mortgage rates causing affordability to decline, some buyers still have an appetite for a new home. In a recent survey done by Realtor.com, nearly 46% said they're planning to go ahead and purchase a home in the next 6 months. If you're asking yourself if you should buy a home now or continue waiting, the answer is it depends on your circumstances. The point I made earlier is that timing and predicting market is impossible even if you have a crystal ball. Navigating markets is much more realistic approach, and the way to do so is to ask yourself, what's the amount you're comfortable with paying for a monthly mortgage? How reliable is your job, or you're holding a seasonal position? Will buying a house improve your family's life, or will it cause you to get a second or a third job just to be able to afford mortgage? All these questions come into play during decision making. That's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to like and subscribe to stay informed. If you are from California and would like to consult more about the current conditions of the housing market, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are a real estate company in Northern California and would be happy to help. The link to our website is in the description below. Take care, and I will see you on the next one.